It is. Let me think here. So there's cozy farming, extreme farming. What's the opposite of cozy? Discomfort, pain, anxiety, anxiety farm. Um, brutal. Oh my gosh, you're absolutely right. Brutal farming sim. Here we go. Brutal farming sim. Credits. Name. Brian the Wiz. I don't know if this would ever get turned into anything. The opposite of cozy sim. No. Cozy sim, but the vibe is metal. There we go. I'll just commit that idea. It may never be touched on again. Well, someone else can make it. It's not like it's... I don't have to do it. Heck, Brian, maybe you can give it a go. All right, let's see here. Oof, there's lots of... I'm going to leave those statements in because I have a feeling once I change everything, I'm going to want these debugging statements. But currently, we've got... Everything that's working right now should be updated to be called grid. Or grid cell, sorry. Because truth be told, and I wish I could, I don't know, I suppose I could, this. All right, let's see, neighbors, cells, instead of cell, or instead of block, it should be cell, do. It's going to be really angry at us for a few minutes, but that's okay. It's just how it goes. Let me think here. Blocks. Oh. Cells. And there's probably the word block in here. No? This is just water. Block. Yeah. Grid cell. Cells. And instead of block transform, cell transform. Because the cell, of course, is like, we store coordinates that we understand, but we still need to move the mesh whenever we move it up and down. And that's where the transform comes in. What's this thing mad about? It's hard to see. Oh, check cell. Oh, right, because this is named something else. So, right, let's see. Check water. That's called block. We'll call that cell, although this needs to be called grid cell. And you're not going to import it? Oh, I already did. All right, whatever. This doesn't need to have the word block in it or ground. Check drainable. Cell. Cell. Grid cell. Okay. Fill water is still cell. Check drainable. What does this come in? Oh, it's here. Yeah, that's right. Okay, draining's fine. Water. Yeah. Is fine. I say that. It's likely to break again. Also, I'm going to get rid of this. Shift amount. And wherever that's called, we're going to use our cell height variable. And we should probably make that publicly accessible so that we can actually call it. Yeah. Doing a lot of little renaming and adjusting and stuff. So now this one's going to be weird because we're going to have ground that affects shifting. Because shifting only is going to affect ground components. Because it's a little different with water. Water is like, again, the movement should not be so direct. Oh, just a tip. You can right click on the symbol, whether it's a parameter. Refactor rename. Really? Are you telling me? Okay. Right click on it. Rename symbol. Block selected. Cell selected. No. No. Ground. Because this we want to just be the ground. Oh, wow. Block, bundle, ground. Oh, right. Hold on. One thing at a time. Thank you for the tip. Let's see here. Block. What? Okay. I don't understand why it's mad at me. Here we go. Cells. Cell. I'm just going to rename everything, and then we're going to watch it blow up a little bit, and then we're going to fix it. Shifters, shifting. Oh, and this we should specify. Only ground components are going to shift. Because the water is going to be a grid cell as well, but we don't want to mess with those. So anything that's specifically a ground component, cell. Sound like a stockbroker. Sell. Check water. Cell, grid cell. Buy. Sell. All right, shift amount, and we will rename this to cell height, and it'll say oh, this is where we define shift amount. I was like, what? Why are you mad? Oh, okay, yeah. I was a little confused. So let's see here. Try ground selected. That's good. We select the ground. We want to double check some things until we actually move it. We attach shifting. We check the shifters on this ground. Probably don't need to specify ground. AFK. Me? I'm just kidding. I'll see you back in a bit. Let me think here. Shift finished. Neighborhood. We're going through. We're checking everything. Anything with neighborhood, we also want to check and make sure that we're just checking for the ground. Because the cells are going to have the neighbors too. The water cells are. Because that's how we're going to check flowing from one end to the other. And let's see. Selection. Okay. Ground selected. That's important. Because we just want the ground. Block. Okay. So instead of block, we'll say ground. Update ground selected, fill water. Cool. Update block selection. Ground. Block and block bundle, huh? Oh yeah. I'll just get rid of that for now because with block, let's see. Oh, right. Let me think here. Blocks. It's about to get a little messy here. Whoop. All right. First, we're going to call it cells. Anything with a grid cell gets cleared. This actually also needs to be a little refactored because, wait a minute. Yeah, this should be refactored because, I noticed I tried to do it the other day and I think a number of, I think it was the water and a number of components were still trying to do work and they're freaking out. So let's see, despawn water. Yeah. All right. Store map. That's fine. Generate map. Now here's where things get fun. Yeah, so we don't need water mesh. We kind of want this to be somewhere else. Let me think here. Fill water. I'm going to move this over here. What am I looking for? You. And you. And see, there's cell. Is it grid cell bundle? Yes, although this won't accept the meshes. That'll be a different bundle. And we need to, let's see, is it ground bundle? Yeah, ground bundle. Whoop. Here we go. So we've got this, we've got that. What are you missing? Anything? Let's see. The new function just takes the coordinates. This one just takes meshes. Cell selection. Why are you upset? Oh, because it should be ground selection. Yes. Because that specifically will be selecting a point on ground. We should not be allowed to select water, per se. Not directly. And you're mad. But that's okay. I understand. Okay, grid cell. Cool. Check water. Doo-doo. Okay. Let me think here. So we're going to commands. We're going to spawn some water if water isn't already here. So let me think here. We have the cell data. Let me think here. What is the child attribute doing? So we click on the ground, and we're running the fill water event. So we're processing it. So for starters, We're not checking the children of cells. Our cell already has coordinates. So we need to go through all of our waters. Is that an entity specifically? Yeah, it's the ground cell. So let me think here. Cells. Okay. We need to implement something for this. How do you implement operator overloads? Because I want to be able to have an equals. So let's see here. Add, what? Traits, yeah. Oh, it's like this. Ops, add. Okay, so we're looking for ops equal itself for itself. Type output. The output should be Boolean, since we're doing equality. I wonder if that should be called something else. No. And then the actual function we're implementing add. We'll implement the equals function. Right hand side. Bar. Foo bar is called. All right, I'm going to copy this here. And do a little bit of changing. So for starters, ops equals. I don't know if this will be allowed. Grid cell output will be bool. Queels. Equals. The right hand side will be type grid cell. And we're just going to say, what are we comparing? Self row equals RHS row and self column equals the right hand side column. Layers are irrelevant. Okay, so there's that. No code actions available. Really? Bevy math. Wait a minute. I want STD ops. This might change it a little bit. No trait equal found in ops. Oh, what do you have? Point, sub, call one. Let me think here. Okay. These feel like examples. Operator overloads, add. Okay, but add sub. Do I need to do this? Overridable via the partial EQ trait, thus usable for matching types. Oh. Okay. I wonder, is it comparing value or is it comparing memory? Because I don't want to compare memory. They're going to be different places in memory, but they're going to have the same value. Well, when they match. Let's see here. Implementing as operators written. For types that now have full equivalence relation, for example, in floating point numbers. How about EQ? Plantations ensure EQ. Each other. Symmetry. I wonder if do I need to implement it? Okay. Partial EQ. All right, tell you what. Implement partial EQ for grid cell. We'll do that instead. EQ for grid cell. EQ. We only care about this one. And we don't need that call anymore. Why are you mad? Oh, right. What? Ah. We're borrowing. Okay. Okay. So let's think here. Waters will now be let's say without ground to specify. It'll come in handy in a little bit. So instead of for child and children, it will be for technically it's a few things, isn't it? Water, water, transform. I don't need that there. And in waters, no. Grounds. The grounds to sue someone. I guess. Let me think here. Grid cell with ground. I should put this in brackets. With ground and without forgetting how to spell anything. Water. And the reason that I say with ground and without water, and for this other one, I'm going to put the opposite. And I'm going to say without ground and with water. I like putting with first. Personal preference. Okay. We're taking data from, we're comparing grid cells. But of course, we want to make sure we only compare the ground cells. We're just getting a ground cell. So let okay ground cell equals grounds get, and it will be fill cell. Else continue. So that'll get our ground cell. Then we're gonna have to go through every water cell. I know. It might behoove us to make like a pair. and just say, if you have one entity, you can find the pair of the other entity. For now, we'll loop through. No. We're going to add that pair thing now. You're gone. Grid builder, grid builder, grid builder. Grid plugin. I'll make a separate file. Pair. And a pair. I don't need a plugin for this. I don't really need a plugin for the ground either, really. We're going to create a new component here. And it will be, we call a pair of ground and water. Let's call it a pair. I feel like pair is probably taken. We're about to find out. We're going to find out, all right. Entity. I don't know why I said that like that. It's not like I'm threatening someone. Okay. I have a feeling when we call this, it's going to be like, there are 4 other implementations of this struct. That's okay. We just have to make sure we call the right one. Here we go. It's shared in our library, which means we can access it throughout our project. And pairs. Pair. Simple enough. So we're going to get our ground pair. Find the matching water cell. Which is funny because now that I realize it, if they're paired up, we don't need to... we probably still need that equality, that partial EQ operator. Because we'll have to, after we build the map. What am I doing? No. No. This is why transforming old code can be a bad idea. I am thinking about looping through all the water components, and we're literally going to instantiate it, which means it won't even be here. So this is entirely pointless. So is this. Ground cell, this will get us at least coordinates. Again, meh. No, we'll keep this as it is. I don't know. Maybe we won't. Tell you what we should do, though, is actually spawn this thing. So we're going to spawn this. We're going to give it a name. We must have a name. Warder. I'll keep that. Warder, and then the... I can't keep that. I'm going to lose it, and I'm going to get very confused and angry and then laugh at some point when I find it again. I don't want to go through all that. Grid cell. Yeah. From grid coordinates. Why don't we have another one called from grid cell? And it's just going to say, hey, you already have a cell. An existing one, at least. Why don't you just make a new one from that? Grid builder. Do. Oh, no. Oh, wait. No, I don't have to be worried about this. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about any of this. From get self. That's what we're returning. And it's just going to copy all these values. Although I don't think we have to implement copy because they're all integer values. Why are you so mad? Layer. Okay. Will be cell layer plus cell height. Because we're adding it on top. In fact, we shouldn't say from grid cell if we're going to do that. Because that doesn't clarify that this is specifically for adding water. So instead of from grid cell, we should say from ground cell. Yeah. From ground cell, and we're going to have a transform and the same thing. Cell height. Yeah. Cell. This is our row. This is our row. This is our column layer. It's a little bit different. Everything's kind of flipped. Offset. Oh. I guess we can include that. I'm trying to think maybe I should just implement this as a function purely. That's partially cute. Okay. Yeah. Pub. Yeah, cool. Oh, actually, shit. I mean, oops. Oh, phi. Okay. Instead of here from ground cell. Transform. And we'll add our own little function here. I can't do this directly, can I? No, that's right. Oops. Nuts. I guess in a way I do need this, don't I? Yeah, okay. Whatever. I don't care. I'm not mad about it or anything. All right, from ground cell, and we'll include an offset, and we'll only use it in one function. I hate that. I hate it so much. I feel like Anakin right now. I'm teeming with anger. I'm so angry. Okay. Let's see here. So no borrowing. You should be fine. Okay. Never used. Oh, don't worry, buddy. It will be. So here's that. Grid cell bundle. From grid cell. Ground offset. Grid cell. Okay. And this will be a lot like this, except for these two will be from grid cell. And instead of grid coordinates, it'll be cell. And this will be cell and offset. No? That's the transform. I got these backwards. Ground offset. Grid. Grid offset. Here we go. Don't you have to like... I guess we still include it. Whatever. What? Buddy, I wanted to borrow it. I mean, what is it? Didn't want me to, yeah? It was upset about me trying to do this earlier. Should be fine. Yeah, just borrow it. Yeah. Never used. Oh, don't worry, we will. Okay. From grid cell bundle. From grid cell. The offset. Oh, where is it here? Gap? No. Where's it defined? Map offset. Oh. That's rough. All right, you know what? Tell you what, let's just put all these here directly, actually. It's fine. Yeah, I don't want to pass that around. I could store it. No, I think there was a better option, a better way of of doing this. Okay, sell. So instead, just to find a new one. In fact, we could probably just say, again, we can implement grid cell from grid cell. Yeah, we can still do this. Let's see here. Self? Yes. Self. Our row will be the cell row. Our column will be the cell column. I know I keep doing this. Cell layer plus cell height. So the reason I don't like this function is because, again, I'm defining it and I'm giving it a name from grid cell, and then I'm adding this like outside value that you don't control. So instead, I call it a layer offset, and you pass it in directly. And that way you control if you have that. And I know we only have one use case now, so maybe I'm overthinking it. But part of me also knows that at some point it's going to be me looking at this code, and I want to be able to know what the heck it's doing, because it's so easy to get completely thrown off guard. And you're like, I don't know where I am, you know? You don't know what you're doing. Neighbor. That we check elsewhere. At another time in another place. Add the actual water component. That would be great. Cell height. Transform. Oh, yeah. So let's see. We have ground cell. I actually just want to add the global transform as well. So when we call this ground cell, we have ground transform. And here, is there a from transform, from translation? Good enough. Ground transform, grand translation, plus, this is important, vector 3, 0, something, 0. And this middle part is the cell height, because we're placing water right above it. So wherever that ground is, we just need to shift everything up one. You want the rate. Will you take default? You better. Yeah. Okay. All right. We create a water component. We're giving it location. We should give it a mesh. Ground bundle. Can have a water bundle. Yeah. Okay. Give it. Yeah, make one. Why am I like I'm talking? Yeah, you won't do it. I'm like egging myself on. Water bundle. Okay. Water. Yeah. Just passing the water in and of itself. This could honestly just be a mesh bundle. Or a cube bundle. We're on a refactoring roll. So it's like to have ADHD. You just keep changing everything constantly. It's exciting and tiresome. Water bundle. Cube bundle. Cube bundle. So the cube bundle instead is what we're going to use. Ground bundle. No. Water bundle. Cube bundle. New. I think you're. You remember earlier when I said we didn't need all those waters? I forgot. We do. Because we're checking if this dang thing exists. One thing at a time. Check for existing water. Instantiate water where there is none. Meshes. Oh, yeah. You. Come over here. All right. You. Yep. That's fine. That's fine. Let's see. Watercolor. Okay. Mesh material. Mesh handle. Okay. All right. You remember when I made that pairs type? Hello. This will be useful because now we just say let okay pairs pair equals pairs oh shoot nah, that's not how we have to do this. For pair in pairs. Well, we're going to go through and then we're going to say if this There's a lot going on here. If pair ground is equal to not just anything, the ground entity. If it is equal, we get the water value. Water entity. Oh. Placeholder. Whatever. Water entity equals pair dot water. And break, because we need to break the for loop. We're going to go through, we're going to try to find all those. If water entity is still equal to entity placeholder at this point, then we're going to have to, well, you take default. Is that okay with that? If I just don't initialize it, it's fine? Okay. All right. We'll see. If it is equal to placeholder. Yeah. Yeah. Here we go. Okay. But if we do find one, we need to get the water data and manipulate it in some way. So waters, but not iter. It will be mute because we already have the entity. Why are we breaking? I don't need to. Let's see here. Fill. Check for existing water. Instantiate water where there is none. Else. Modify the current water. Waters. Query. What am I doing? Water. Without ground. It would never do that. It would never, we don't need to put that in there. Waters, but not get mute child water entity. So there's that. Oh, transform, yes. Transform as well. And let's see. Okay, if we find it. If we don't find it, we should still create it. I wonder if I should make this a enclosure. Spawn water equals run this. Okay. So if we don't find anything, spawn water. But also, if we don't find the water we're looking for, spawn it. Because we want to make sure we create it. And if we can't find it, oh, wait, no. Spawn water. continue, which will affect this for loop. Let me think here. What is the ID called again? Oh, just entity. Lull. Here we go. Is that the correct syntax? Because we need to make sure the pair we're looking for. Let me think here. Create water and pair with ground. Water entity. Commands. Spawn. Pair. And what's in here? The ground entity and the water entity. And same with here, except it'll be, we need to edit this pair. Found pair. Okay. And if we find it, found pair equals pair. Hey. Let's see if we can't find it. Let new entity. Found pair water. Set it to that. This just feels very messy. Check drainable. Water entity. Cell entity. Ground. No? What is check drainable doing when it's red? We just need cell for this now. Because whether it's cell water or cell grid cell, there should be both attached to the same components attached to the same entity. So it would be the same value technically. So that's why we're cutting that away. We only need one here. Check drainable. Oh. Expected due to this type. Can I dereference? No. All right. Can I clone it? I probably have to implement this, don't I? Actually, borrow. Yeah. Remove this mute. No. Why is this mad? Borrow is mutable. Borrow what? Oh. Oh. Oh, right. Possibly uninitialized. That's BS. It's done right here. If the for loop runs 0 times, found is not initialized. If this yeah, but if the for loop runs 0 times, it won't get to here. Ding dong. Okay. I feel like. Do you have a problem with it doing this? No. All right. All right. Here's what we're gonna do. We are just gonna implement clone. We don't need to, and clone I think should be fine. Does clone work for entities? Oh, right. Clone. Please be okay. And cells. It's no longer wanted. No longer needed. You know what? We'll specify without ground. What? Changing this to mute? Oh, well, fine, I guess. Okay. If I must. What? Isn't initialized. Well, I tried to, and you were mean. I don't know why I had a problem with that earlier. Water child. Oh, there we go. Okay, wow, that's exhausting. Oh. What was this function really doing? Check water. I was trying to get the cell. We already have the entity of the cell. So we don't need to go through and get children because water is no longer a child of the ground component. And this is absurd. So instead of check water. Wait, where's this called? Where's this used? Reader? No. Oh, here you go. Yeah. Check water. Check water. We don't need to check water anymore because we already have check drainable. So, get rid of this. It's gonna be a little mad at me here and there. Rid of that. You still mad, man? Found pair is not initialized. Buddy, what? Oh, okay. This is why you have to attach all this stuff. Default, debug, clone. I don't know if debug works. Default's not satisfied for entity? Get out of town. Yeah, it is. Don't lie to me. Fine. It's not called default. It's called placeholder. You're still mad at me. No, you're not. You're fine. You're mad at me, but I don't care. Because there's your default. There we go. Okay. This has been a messy, messy refactoring, and it's been painful. Let's see. So check water. It's mad. It says, I don't know what that is. I don't know what ground bundle is. Me neither, dude. Me neither. But I know what cube bundle is. Come on. No, not cubic Bezier. Bundle. There you go. Good. All right. Yep. You're not a real thing anymore, aren't you? You're not real, and check water isn't real. But check drainable. Check drainable is. So we're gonna do that there. Shifting also uses check water. But it should be check drainable. And also, oh my gosh. Yay. Really? Oh, that's right. Wow, that's a lot of things we changed. Oh. Nothing I think is going to work. I just want to run it to make sure it builds. Because all we've done is just, you know, I think we should be able to create water cubes. And they might still drain. All right, let's see here. Main panicked at grid 12.9. Do we know why it did? Not yet implemented. I hate that. Line 12. Oh. Well. Okay. So what happens when you keep making plugins and you don't do anything with them? It's all just done out of habit. I'm letting my brain run wild. Okay. Load map small. All right, if I hit tab, I should be able to add water. Nothing happens. Oh, nothing's happening at all. That's good. Oh, we know this is probably going to happen. I did. I mean, I hate it, but I kind of figured it would happen. Let's see here. All right, let's put in a few debugging lines. So, selection. And let's check the value of the water. Toggle.0. On water. If anything, I should have an event that changes the text. What do I have instructions? Don't I have that? Yeah. Resource toggle water. Okay, you know what we're going to do? We're going to spawn another text node. But this one... Water. Right. Describe the controls, and this is just going to say water toggled. Should be off. In fact, water toggle. Toggle water. You're mad. Why? This should work. I always say stuff like that. This should work. I have no idea. I mean, I have an idea. Clearly, I have some kind of idea. Let's see here. Toggle display. And we're going to have keys, which will be the buttons. Yeah, okay. This is just, I know it's kind of silly to put the same kind of function, but I don't want to add an event and everything for, I don't know, debugging purposes. Oh no, how do I update the text? Color text. Oh, that's right. You've got to query for it. See, some value, some span. Yeah. Okay. Derive component. Doesn't need republic. Water toggle text. And we'll put it right there. Put it right there. Here we go. The position should probably be a little elsewhere. Maybe. I don't know. I wonder what this text size is. We're about to find out. It might look really ugly here. Text span. But we're not looking for FPS text. We're looking for water toggle text. All right. Water toggle. This should be called water toggle because holy moly. Toggle water sounds like a command, like an instruction. Water toggle sounds like a value we're reading. And that kind of stuff starts to mess with your head after a while. It does for me. So I'm gonna set it like this. And we're gonna say for text. In query dot iter. Actually, it should be single, shouldn't it? I'm gonna say not signal, single. Is it get mute? Get mute. No. Maybe it's into inner. Will it still get mutable? I hope so. All right. And I dereference it twice and set a new format. Okay. Toggle .0. If keys dot what is the actual toggle key again? Fill key. Copy. Okay. This is just to help with the display. And you don't know what that is. You do know. Query into enter. Into expand. On an iterator. Okay. I just don't even remember what the keywords are. Actually, no, I can look this up in here. Single. I just want. Okay, it's a lot. Bevy single. Query. Query. I don't think they updated their documentation. And to enter. Oh, wait a minute. Oh my gosh, of course. Let Doi. Unexpected semicolon. Equals. Here you go. Yeah, touche. No, that's... Wait, what? What? Does not need to be mutable. Really? Weird. Oh, I don't know what that was. Probably good to add this. So it'll run. All right. I don't need all those arguments. Thank you very much. Cool. Let's do some basic debugging here now that we've gotten that. That is just something I should have added a while back, frankly. Good. Can I access system parameter? Okay. No. Not C sharp. Okay. You know what? Seems to be having some issues with this kind of thing. Get single mute. Ah, but you're upset. Oh, of course. All right, it's a bit sloppy, but cannot be dereferenced. Oh well. You okay with this? Oh, it's a result. Oh, yes, yes. Okay. Let okay. Break. What? Oh. If let. Add a block here. Tell you what. There we go. All right, but let's try dereferencing that again. Cool. Okay. All for a debug message. A little distracted, you could say. Cool. Yeah. I got an email from Google just now. They were like, "We'd love to hear from you." I'm like, "You spy on me. Don't gaslight me like that." Hey, look, hitting tab changes nothing. The selection seems to be correct. Yeah, I'm gonna do here. Actually, tell you what, I can. There's a little trick I can try. Toggle water display after toggle water. Oh, come on. Pointing. Yeah. Okay. I thought I had for a second. Okay, this should make sure that it runs after the water is toggled, not before, just in case it checks the value beforehand really quickly. You know, and then I mean, I did. Maybe it just doesn't work. Oh. Oh. Okay. Um. Meh. Good message. Not working. All right, I'm done with that. We should get on with it because really what we need to be checking is this, which seems to be working fine. So, see, neither ground selected was working nor fill water. So, fill water. This is where the event is red. I don't know why all this would break. It seems so flawless, doesn't it? All right. Found ground cell. Found ground data. And what was the other thing? Ground selected. Yeah. No, that's event writer. This is being read. Grid. No. Shifting. Ground selected. Selected and clicked. I know that's kind of a weird thing, but selected is like the event launched. Clicked is checking to see which mouse button, which is not something we're able to do. I was able to do in the observer enclosure. I don't know why it wasn't working very well. All right. Load map, small. Okay, we got selected. If I toggle the water, ooh, okay. The water is not getting caught. So let's see here. Selected and clicked. Shifting cell. And we'll just print that off. Does not implement debug. Yes. Should. Cool. Good. That's better. And water. Man, you didn't even run to here. Check and sell. Let's see if that works. I like to adjust my glasses a lot. I don't really like to actually at all. It's a habit. All right, so we seem to be able to check a cell. It's funny, actually, clicking it is still making, it's still changing the layers. Why is that? Here, let's close out some of this stuff. All right. Did I just say shitting cell? Whatever. Lol. Shitting cell. Ah. Okay. I should check something. Yeah, okay. So I forgot to add the ground component to this. That's probably why it's not shifting. Or shitting. I don't know. Shitting cell. This is a masterclass course, folks. Sign up now, and I promise you that I will have more money from you giving it to me. Okay. Hey, look at that. All right. Our shifting powers are working again. This is how the terrain should deform whenever we move it. Of course. Oh! Look at that. Okay. We've got water. I bet the ground component was affecting the water thing too, isn't it? Because, yeah, we're checking things with ground and it wasn't working. This is a lot. And I kind of wonder. All right. So took away that very helpful debug message. Let's run that again. This time, we're still checking things in the water. No. I know I keep cleaning my glasses. Frankly, it's just like an anxiety response. Should probably take a break. Yeah, but now this for like 2 hours. Okay. Load map. Small. All right. Yay. If I toggle, it doesn't display. I just add, and if I hit it again, it's not increasing. Okay. So let's see here. Comparing. I mean, the equal sign tells us it's a compare. Pair ground and ground entity. So we're going to compare it, and we're going to... We know we can spawn it. That's fine. What I really want to see... Oh, that's the... Here, I'll tell them why I'm using an enclosure. All right, spawning may occur more than once. Changing the water. Getting water. And then here I'll say changing water. Okay. Sorry. Whack. Okay. All right. Let's see. Load map small. If I click this. Oh, right. The first time it's not going to have a pair. But this time it should. It's funny. If I click on it, it won't. I know what's wrong. Eh. Um. I can't select the ground when my cursor is over the water. So the water should just be an observable, which would make editing it a lot easier, actually, because we wouldn't have to get a pair from the ground. We would just pass the water entity and modify it from there. I should have thought about that before I started doing things. Oh, wow, it's like stuck. They won't. Weird. Oh, wow, it's like really messing with it. That's bizarre. Okay. Let's think here. First things first. When we create this, we need to add an observable. Update ground selection. Okay. It'll be a little bit different. So we have ground selection, and we're going to have water selection. And water selected. I'm going to call it a little bit differently. I just kind of want to keep the same general notation of how I'm doing this. Good news is we don't need this toggle anymore. If we select the ground, we move the ground. If we select the water, we'll move the water. Yeah. Ooh. And we don't need this fill event either. Same here, except for it'll be water selected. And we don't need to check the toggle, actually, because I'll just be selecting it purely on its own. I'm going to keep the name selection. I like it. Entity. Here we go. And it says, I don't know what this is. I don't blame it. Fill water should probably not have references. We're adding it. We define it. We read it. Forget that. There we go. No more fill water event. Instead, it'll be defined here. And we're going to call the entity of water itself. Oh, and then we're not checking ground. We're not checking for ground pairs. We're not checking. I don't know if we need that actually. If we selected it, it does exist. So we don't have to check all this stuff. We want it to actually do something if we select the ground. We also just want to be able to modify water if it's selected by itself. We're not going to be checking that. We're not going to be instantiating that. If we select it, water selected. Here we go. Water without ground. Fill? No. Oh, for event in actually, we still need to check these events. If we don't have anything, we're just going to say continue. We're not going to try to spawn new water. And it's not water entity, it's fill entity. Cool. Fill water. Increase water. There we go. Okay. So the fill event still matters, but let's see, the ground matters. We would just spawn it where the ground is, yeah. I don't think we need to pair it. Getting the ground cell matters. Probably not the entity. Definitely the transform. The event matters. I'm not going to do that. I don't need to search through waters because it won't have existed if we're creating it for the first time. Let's just get rid of this. We don't need to do any of this. We won't be checking it. Actually, we will want to check here. Check if should drain. I don't need to put a note for that. That's pretty obvious. Okay. Spawn new water. Update found water. Yeah, find the match water cell. No. Get the ground data. Entity. So. No. This cell is the ground. We want the water entity. Right. Okay. Whoops. Something is still mad. Entity commands. Oh, that's because there should be an ID. There we go. Cool. I'm terrified. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to expect. Now, you remember all those changes? Yeah. We still need the toggle for the ground selection. But we don't for the water. Yes. We will fill water. What? Oh. If it's true. Oh. Right. Update water selection. Oh, yeah. Lol. We need you. We need you here. Observe. Let me think here. Edit. Pointer. Down. Just a moment. Yep. Update water selection needs to be added as an observable. You need to be imported from selection. There you go. Okay, cool. So, because if we click ground, we either going to move it or we're going to add water to it. Just tired of manually undoing. Yeah. Cool. That's fine. Ugh. I just realized if we're going to have water, we're going to have to deform meshes. Because that's way better than adding tons of little cubes on top of each other. It'll get costly real fast. Okay, let's check. Okay, the basic behaviors still work if we add water. We can do that if we do it again. We can keep adding water. I don't want to be able to add water like that. Okay. You remember we talked about pairing water in the ground? Okay, well, I mean, we can move the water when we've added it, but we also can add more, and we shouldn't just add layers of water. That's bad. Okay. This is fine. I hope. All right. Okay. Hey, source control. Nuts. Whatever. Find current water if exists. Okay. Oh man, little things at a time. I'm going crazy. Pear. We just need to read it. For let's see, we need that ground entity again. Okay, for pair in pairs, iter. If pair dot ground, you're upset, you don't know what this is. If pair dot ground is the same as ground entity, then I guess we can say water selected. Just kind of a weird event to run. And the entity of water is that pair. If we don't find it, though, oh. It's not just a break, though. Pair found. Default. False. Pair found. Equals true. We'll say if pair found. Then if I hit break here, it's going to break this for loop, but it'll still be stuck in this for loop, and I don't want it to do that. So say if a pair is found, send that and create a new pair. Ground entity in water is do that here. No reason to go crazy. Pair water. Neat. I'm gonna do that. And no pair found. Instead we'll set it to true. If no pair found, spawn. But if we do find a pair of underwear, we will spawn this. I think here. No, if we find it, here we go. We'll spawn a new pair. Water entity. Here, however. Oh. So let's see. Find current water if it exists. Spawn new water. If none exists. And pair. Okay, so so we'll send an event for water selected and just mutate it. Break that. No pair found. False. Okay, you know what? That just sounds so weird. No, pair found's false. We'll set it equal to true. And then down here, we'll just check the inverse. All right. Yeah. So you have to check all the pairs first. Oh, excuse me. All right, this is a mess. It feels like too much. It feels like spawn water should probably be its own thing, if anything. Oh. Should it be? Yeah. I think so. Oh no. All right. Spawn water is our new event. I never spell that correctly when I'm writing it out. Here we go. So now we're just going to say all this stuff should happen in its own function. I'll probably put it above fill water. Move so silly when I do that. Okay, water, spawn water, fill water, increase water. Water. There we go. For spawn in event.read. We're going to do that. Cool. Instead of ground transform, it's spawn translation. And not ground cell, spawn cell. Oh. Or what? Ground entity. You know what? This feels cartoonish. But let's just run this check here. Okay. Spawn water. None of that. Ground. I'm tired of doing this multiple times. All right. The first thing we're just going to check. If that's not found. We're going to spawn water instead. There we go. All right, and we have to go through all the pairs first. This one's a little messy, but I feel like fill water is just, like, I don't know. Should call it like check fill water? Check water? Check water? What? Never used. Sure. Sure about that? Spawn water. Ground. Ground is never red. It's red right there. Check water. Spawn water. Oh, right, right. Cool. Oh. What an egregious pain. Oh no. Check water can access system event spawn water. Oh, lol. Okay, now it exists. Okay. Oops. The ground works if we move it. Look at that, it gets stuck. And it affects its neighbors, which it should, given the logic that it takes. But the good news is we're adding to one water. If we do this, yeah, it just passes through. So if we click on it and if we click the ground, we'll add water. We've rewritten a lot. What's this we business? I did all the work. How far? Okay. I need a break. I need a little bit of a break. Adding to water. Cool. All right. Be back in a moment. Okay. I just realized something. Architecturally, the way I've done this is like very deeply integrated. But in the game, you're not being best viewers. In the game, you're not going to be able to directly affect the water. So, really, it feels like what you'd want to do is if you have, we have like some kind of selection event going on. And that helps for ground. But also for like dev purposes, we want this for like water currently. And you've got like ground. Oh gosh. Ground. We'll say movement. It's like something that kind of occurs, yeah. And then we've also got this kind of other area. We have water movement. And really, water movement should have a kind of middle layer. Just like dev tools for water that should kind of exist that ultimately won't be here in the long term. So selection will affect ground movement, but it also will affect water movement. And ground movement will affect water movement. Should probably point these. But ultimately, the dev tools are going to be gone. So, and I'll write that in a note. I don't want to get too distracted. We're working on this. We've kind of done that already. Excuse me. Dev tools should be contained in their own plugin. We can just toggle them on and off rather than have everything integrated with dev tools throughout the project. Because that would be a real pain whenever it comes to like actually pushing this into production. There's a lot of handy things that we have, and we want to keep them separate from the ultimate, published version. And I haven't really done any kind of planning on this kind of stuff. It's totally a bad thing. All right. Speaking of which, we've separated the water, and we're able to add it and adjust it again directly. So we've gotten this kind of part done. If anything, I was to say, there's like user selection. And this little square will fill. We're going to have dev selection. They'll be similar, but they'll be a little different. This is so lovely. Oh, yeah. Yikes. That's okay. It's fine. Oops, wrong color. There we go. Okay. It should be separate. As far as water movement goes, water movement will affect water movement. So, you know, if anything, this is going to like go back into itself. So it's really nasty. So yeah. Where am I putting this? And the project would be a good idea. Where are you? Bevy Hill Builder. Assets. I'm just going to say dev diagrams. Hold on a minute. That shouldn't be in assets. This should be in like should be in the parent folder. Dev diagrams. Yeah. Whatever. Selection. Architecture. Oh, paint is on its own. Okay. Alrighty, let's see here. I'll make that a little softer. Water movement. So let's start by saying there's going to be this big system called water movement. And there's a smaller system that's going to affect it called ground movement. And the water will not affect the ground, but the ground can affect the water. Weep, weep. Oh, nuts. Why'd I do that? I was unhappy. I was dissatisfied. All right, so the ground movement is affected directly by the water movement. I'm sorry, will affect the water movement. Water movement affects itself. So in order to do this properly, we need to think about how the water is going to move. So we're going to have systems like rainfall, which we can maybe put in like its own over here. I mean, I think so. I don't even know, frankly. Anyway. All right, so we'll have rainfall. Water will need to drain into and drain out of. We kind of have that set up, but you know, let's work on this now. That's a brilliant contrast. So we've got drain into, drain in. I've got drain out. We've got readjust water and the mesh itself. That happens. I'm thinking like rain will drain in. We also need to have something that happens whenever the water is like at 0. Say 0 water. Despawn. And that'll be its own little thing we check. There's better tools for this kind of thing, I know. Ground movement could be either way. Up or down. And we'll need to know. And we'll write here. Down. And if we move up. Because if the ground beneath moves up, the water is going to move up. If it moves down, the water is going to drop down. Rainfall. I mean, it's rain. It's always adding to. I should expand this. So. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're really using MS Paint was the best choice of action here. Okay. Here we go. Yeah. Whoops. All right, here we go. That's better. And we'll write it in the inside. If it's up, we're going to drain out. If it's down, I'm going to drain in. Maybe. If everything is flat and there's already water existing, if it goes down, we drain in. Whether or not there's water there, it would have to drain in. Just trying to think about all the use cases. If we go up, it'll drain out if there's water there at all. I need some kind of check. Check if has water. Some kind of little middle layer that we have that it has to pass through. Make sure we draw that properly. I'm real particular for this kind of stuff. I really should be using a better tool, frankly. Brush. Can we make a dashed line? What happened to having options? Yeah. Whatever. We'll just make a little segment here. We got to check if we have water to create it. And get or make water. Actually, yeah, that's better. Get or make water. So that's how the ground movement will affect the water. If we get it, we tell it to move. Regardless of whether or not it's draining in or out. We should have some other layer in here. We do some other thing. Or well, drain in and drain out should probably just do this check anyway. Yeah, I'm not liking the way this is structured. Like, really? We're always checking this stuff. And we'll fill in some of this stuff. Yeah, drain out should check. Oh. And Actually, this is just checking. It doesn't need to activate this. This will always, these two will always be running. These two are like events. Drain out simply adjusts the water level to be a certain height. Drain in also does that. To the point where I feel like I don't know if they should actually be different functions. Drain in will take a small amount. This will happen maybe steadily. Like we've got some function that fills. And here we go. Okay. Rainfall should happen like slowly over time. I don't know if we want rainfall. I think we might, so maybe thinking about it might help. The most important thing, though, right now is ground movement. So depending on the movement of the ground, the drain in and drain out are simply adding. These two singular adjustments to water level. These two constantly running. Fill is a constant water level adjustment. Based on whether or not there's rainfall. It's going to be a little weird, but okay. And I don't know if really drain in and out need to be separate functions again. Like, drain You know what? These names suck. I don't like them. Instead, we're going to have one event, and it's going to be called level adjustment. And this is adjusting water and mesh. We should also have another function that's very important, and that is check set adjustment. I'm just going to call it check neighbor. We're literally just adjusting based on the neighbor. So these three are constantly running. This is a constant adjustment. It kind of has its own thing. Adjusting the water is... We're just adjusting the mesh. And, yeah. If it's going up, it doesn't need to really check the water. Only if it's going down. So... Whoops. If it's going down, if it's going up, we're adjusting the water level in that area up one. And then it'll be checking its neighbors and adjusting the mesh and everything. And if it gets to 0 water, it despawns. But when it moves down, that's when we get / make water. I wonder if get water and make water should be separate. Maybe it should just be one function. Up, down, all around, just, you know. Yep. Okay. the ground moves, we're going to have to get or make water and then adjust the level for that water. If there's rainfall, it's just going to be... We'll also have to get or make water. So... I don't know if I want rainfall. It just seems so completely detached. And I feel like we should focus on this system first and make this as good as we can get it. And if we like it, and if we're going to move forward, we can always add more complexity later. But I fear is over-designing something. Oh, whoops. Anyway, all right. All right, level adjustment. These three are constantly moving, so we'll check our neighbors. We'll adjust the mesh, and then we'll despawn if we reach to level 0. As far as ground movement, it should affect... Yeah. Let's... Oh, man. Oh, whatever. Let's add some notes here. What do we change? Oh, yeah. Okay, let me save this here. And I'll call this water architecture. Water movement architecture. Cool. So we've got some of that stuff here now. And ground adjustments. Trigger a water check. Water check gets or makes water, triggering adjustment. If it gets it, it adjusts it. Yeah? Nah. Adjustment. Water level. Adjustment is occurs per causes sudden change. Check neighbor compares neighbor water levels. Adjust mesh. Adjust mesh. Events. Systems. Adjust mesh and despawn when 0. When no water. Something else check neighbor should do is if no neighbor run check. Adjustment check. If we have a potential neighbor, if no neighbor, check potential. Potential event triggers, let's see, does nothing or triggers water check, which goes back. If no neighbor, check potential. If yes neighbor, adjust. Set relative drain rate. The mesh will adjust to the drain rate when there's no water. Despawn. So ground adjustments trigger a check for water. If there is no water, let's see. Ground adjustments trigger water check. Water check trigger. Let's see. True. Trigger adjustment. I'm going to say shift water. Move water. Adjustment. False. Create water. Should still trigger an adjustment. Shouldn't it? Trigger adjustment. If no water, create water. We're still going to trigger that adjustment regardless. Water adjustment causes sets new level. Potential event. True. No. Potential neighbor triggers a water check. Yeah. No. False. Will trigger a water check. This is weird. What is the neighbor for? If there's a neighbor, if there's no neighbor, check potential. Want a water check? Yeah. Okay. If there's no neighbor, run a water check. If no water, create it. If needs water. If no water, create water. If needs water, we'll trigger an adjustment. What's an if needs water? True. If needs water. Get water. Get water. Or create water. Well, we trigger the adjustment regardless. We're either going to get it or we're going to create it if we have it. Excuse me. Okay. This all feels kind of messy. It feels like my diagram is no longer useful. That's okay. So there's a lot we'd have to implement. And that'll take some time. I think I'm going to call it, actually. Yeah. So the ground adjustment is how we actually affect the water. I feel like you can't move the ground. If you can't see the ground, you shouldn't be able to move the water. In fact, I'll put that here in